Alright, good morning people. Taking out my old Lowrance LMS 480, replacing it with an Elite 5 DSI. Old one was pretty easy to get out. Just unhook the cables, take a razor blade and kind of work it down behind it to get the silicone cut loose that they use to glue it in, and then just pry it out. New unit fit right in the same hole. I did have to trim just a little bit around the edge where they didn't cut out quite enough, but it wasn't very much. I just used a hacksaw blade and a file to smooth it up to trim the excess off. Then I took the little piece of paper that they send for the flush mount kit in the box, and I cut out the middle and I slid it over the back of the unit, put the unit in place where I wanted it, got everything lined up, and taped the pattern to my console so that it didn't move, and drilled my holes for my mounting screws. Alright, I've cut the ends off my old cables, so I'm not going to use them anymore. I cut the ends off of them. I duct taped a couple pieces of string to the end of it, and I located them in the rear. I took my vent off back there. Give me a little bit easier access. You reach your hand in there, find out which cable you want to pull. This unit had through the hole transducers that are epoxy to the bottom of the hole in the bilge area there. So I just snipped the cable loose and fished it back up through the side up to my vent hole there and started pulling, and they pulled out actually pretty easy. So I've got a couple of strings tucked in there so I can pull my new cable through. I pulled 3 strings through. I'm only actually going to need one of them. The power cable and the transducer cable are all wrapped together in one with this new unit. So I'm actually only going to have to pull one through, and I'm going to leave the other 2 strings tied up out of the way in the side in case I ever have to pull something else through there, if I add another unit or an external GPS puck or whatever I might need to install down the road. I've already got strings pulled through so that I can fish new cables through without having to take the extra step in the beginning. Alright guys, I'm getting ready to pull my cable through. I've got it taped. I actually tied my string in a knot down here in the bottom. Wrapped tape around the knot real good. Taped it to 2 or 3 places on the cable here. Made sure I taped up my plug real good though, so as not to damage anything on the end of my plug. And I may just be a little overly cautious, but just so it's not banging around on the concrete, I actually taped the transducer inside a little tiny box that I had here at the house. So yeah, maybe again I'm just overly cautious, but better safe than sorry. Alright, getting ready to pull it through. I fed it through my little outlet here so I can tape it all back up and make it look nice. And I pulled all my slack out through the vent here so that I'm working in the most straight line possible that I can up to the console. So all my slack is hanging out here at the vent. I got my strings, my extra strings that I'm going to leave tied at the front and taped back here at the back, so hopefully I don't accidentally snatch them back through. That would kind of suck. But anyway, fixing to go pull the other end and see what happens. Alright, here we go.
If your heating and cooling unit is on its last leg, you can now get a new Bryant heating and cooling unit from Warrior Heating and Cooling with no money down, no credit check, and financing up to 5 years. Call Warrior Heating and Cooling at 345-4335 and they'll come by and install your new Bryant heating and cooling system for no money down, no credit check, and financing for up to 5 years. And a standard 10-year warranty on the system. Warrior Heating and Cooling 345-4335. And the big man here inviting you to shop all 3 locations of Irvin's Working Restroom, where you'll find the largest selection of boots and jeans for the entire family, including the officially licensed outlet.
Since we are the very first game on the schedule for today, no scores to report right now in the Alabama Helicopter scoreboard, but boy, we ever have some great matchups in the Southeastern Conference on this Saturday, starting with a 2:30 game, 6th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs.
All right, there she is.
Alright, last step was to mount the transducer. I know it's a little dark back here, but anyway, maybe you can see it. There it is. Mounted just to the right of my jack plate on the very bottom of the transom.